Welcome back to this tutorial on BookBolt Studio, and in this video I'm going to show you how to use the keyword search function. Now when you first come into your BookBolt Studio, you're going to be defaulted to this page, the product search. So just scroll down and click on keyword search, and you'll notice it's just going to auto-populate something in there. In this case, sometimes it will say logbook or what have you. In this case, it says sketchbook, so you can take that out. Now, one thing to note is that this tip right here, it's really important, is the broader your search term, the less likely you're going to get good results. So it's better to use longer tail phrases that are more niche down so you can get better search results. And so in this case, let's say we just look up something like coloring book. That's a very broad term. So the results you're going to get are not going to be quite as useful because you can see that term has a search volume of over 83,000 results, but it's very broad. It doesn't give you a good idea of what people are actually looking for, whereas the longer tail phrases like this one here, truck coloring book for kids, or Psalms coloring book, an adult coloring book, the search volume is lower, but that's because it's more specific, and these longer tail keywords are more likely what people are typing in to search than the shorter, broader ones. Now, in this keyword search category, you'll also see that there are two columns. One gives you the Amazon keywords results, and in this case for coloring book, there are 462. And then the other column tells you what Google is showing, or what Google has. So in this case, 208 keywords with coloring book. Now, how to interpret these for the Amazon keywords, this is what people are typing into Amazon, what you see here, and these are the this is the search volume for those. If you click on this magnifying glass, I'll go ahead and let's do it for Psalms, okay? Click on product search, and then it takes you to a new window where it actually shows you the products that are showing up for this search. So you see it takes you to the product search tab. It opens this up in a new window for you, and it auto-populates that keyword for you. And then it gives you all what we've talked about in another video. Total results, it shows you 500. Minimum BSR, max BSR, and then average. And so remember, in this case, how you want to think about the average, how I think about it is you want an average BSR that indicates that that particular keyword has books that are selling quite frequently. So an average BSR over 1 million means it's not really moving very fast. Now that doesn't speak to individual books per se, because the minimum is 5,000, just over 5,000 BSR, which means this one is selling. Whichever one is ranking, this is selling. But on average, this BSR for this keyword means they're not really selling very well, or very often, I should say. That's the lowest price, high price, and then mid price. And then as you scroll down, these are the books that show up for that. And as you can see, the very first one isn't actually even relevant to that keyword. Sometimes we don't even know why certain things show up for certain keywords, but that's what this is. And you can keep going. And I wonder how far we have to go till we see one that actually has a keyword that's somewhat relevant to that. So this is the first one. This Bible verse coloring book is the first book that is somewhat closely relevant to that keyword. The BSR is 40,954. That's the average BSR there. So anyway, that's what happens when you click the product search magnifying glass. When you click A, this is going to give you the ranking. Let's stick with the same one, this Psalms. This is going to give you the ranking, like the grade on this particular keyword, which tells you whether or not it's a good keyword to go for. So we're just going to click on that and give it a minute. Oh, why didn't it do that? So it should, oh, it's actually this. Let me go back to that one. So that just opened up. I'm not sure why I did that, but let's click. Oh, that was the keyword search again. Sorry, this is the one that gives you the rating. So what this does is when you click on this, it opens that keyword search. So remember here, we just put in coloring book. When you click on the letter A on any keyword, it opens up another keyword search, but using this term. So that's what happened here. And so it gave us this keyword search using that term. But what I want to show you is what happens when you click this pie, this thing that looks like it has a piece of the pie taken out. This is where it gives you the competition score, and it gives you a grade for that. So A means that it's a good niche to go into because there's not much competition. And as you saw when we looked at the keyword results, not many books that show up for this term actually were Psalms coloring books. So that means for the true term Psalms coloring books, the competition score is A, which means it's good. Because they don't have that word in their title or what have you, for whatever reason they're showing up. But if you want to target exactly this coloring, this keyword, and you're going to make a book that is actually that, then you actually have a good chance of showing up higher in the search results because the true competition is not that high. Now, sales volume, it says 1. Sales volume is not the same as search volume. Just be aware of that. So it might have a lot of searches because as you saw, the search volume was high, but then the actual sales are another case, but we'll get into that in another video. And then the last thing here is the heart. So if you want to add this phrase to your favorites so that you can come back to it, or just put them all in one place and come back and dig in more, just click on the heart and it will add it to your favorites, which you can access here. Now, when you're looking at the Google keyword side, how to decipher this is this. So search volume, you understand what search volume is, how much search in Google that keyword is getting. And then CPC, this is the cost per click. This is what people who advertise are paying to show up for these keywords. Okay. And then competition is how competitive this keyword is among those who are paying to show up, to have their products show up for these keywords. Doesn't really have much to do with you as a seller unless you're thinking of using Google Ads to drive traffic. And then what you want to look at is, okay, is the competition low, meaning there's not much competition for this keyword. So this keyword here, the coloring cafe coloring book, that actually sounds like something very specific. So maybe not something you want to go for. But let's look at, so this is high, which means many merchants or sellers are competing for this keyword, coloring bookmark or coloring book lot. So those are high competition keywords. Now look at this one is medium. That's about how much it's costing per click, and Fantasia coloring book. So anyway, that's how to interpret the Google side. Now, if we keep scrolling down further here, these keywords, these phrases are words that are used with this particular search term. And it just shows you how popular, how often they're used with those search terms. So that way, you know, when you're putting together your book, which keywords you want to pull from here to use or not use. Maybe you want to use ones that are popular, that people really are searching for quite often, so that your book shows up in the mix. And maybe you want to use ones that are more niche so that you stand out more in those particular searches. So that's what this is for. So again, this is the keyword search feature for within BookBolt Studio. And just for good measure, let me just quickly do a long tail phrase. So we did coloring book. Let me just add the word corgi coloring book, and let's see what the results come back for that one. So as you can see, it's a longer term phrase, a longer tail phrase, and the search volume is significantly lower for corgi coloring book 4,000. And let's see what the competition score is for that one. So C competition score. So again, just think about it like grades in school. C means that there is a good amount of competition. It's not as what's non-competitive, if you will. It's more crowded, I should say, than the other phrase we looked for. But then again, that one was so broad, don't even think of just using coloring book by itself. So corgi coloring book, let's say you wanted to do a corgi themed coloring book. You will have some competition. See, it's not competition that, is the worst, but then, it's not like an A or a B. But on the upside, see how sales volume 267. So these are selling. So you want to just decide, within yourself, are you ready to put in the work that it's going to take to make your book stand out in this competitive space, knowing that the sales are there, but it's going to take some work on your part. You can't just make it and post it and that will be the end of it. And then here are the terms that are used in the books that are selling, and how frequently and how often. Of course, coloring is used a lot. Corgi, of course, book. But then other terms that, again, you can use these to guide you with your keywords when you're listing the book, etc. So that's how you would use the keyword search function for this. And then again, you can just scroll down. You might get some more ideas about how to niche down even further. See here, adult corgi coloring book. Just for good measure, let's see what the competition is like. There you go. It's an A score. So instead of doing just a general corgi coloring book, maybe consider doing an adult corgi coloring book. The competition is not as steep as with the general corgi coloring book. But then again, as you can see the sales volume here, it says 2, but honestly, think about it. Really use your critical thinking skills. If the other one had sales of 247 and this one only has 2, your book is still going to show up, because if an adult is looking for an adult corgi coloring book and yours shows up because you're using this longer tail phrase that you're targeting, chances are that you will get some runoff and some showtime from the sales for the more competitive, shorter tail phrase. I hope that makes sense and that you understand how to decipher the data that this is showing you. Thank you for watching this video. If you have any questions, put them in the comments section. I am looking and seeing just how informative and helpful these videos are. Let me know what else you want to see videos on. I'm going to continue doing a step-by-step through the BookBolt Studio so that you can really get comfortable using it. And if you want to sign up for BookBolt, they do have a 3 free day trial. And if you want to pay for it, you can use my affiliate link. I do get a small commission if you do use that link. It doesn't cost you any extra. But if you want to get 20% off your subscription for life, I have a code in the description of this video that you can use that will get you 20% off either the monthly or the annual subscription forever, for as long as you keep the subscription, if you put that code that I have in the comments, in the description. Thanks again for watching. I look forward to any of your questions and comments, and I will see you in the next video.